Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Everyday English Channel. I am Sarah, and oh my goodness, I am so incredibly happy you clicked on this video today. Like, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, because today's topic, it is one I have wanted to talk about for a very, very long time.
And I am Jack, and Sarah is right. Today, we are talking about something that affects millions of English learners around the world every single day. Something nobody talks about, honestly. Something your textbook will never tell you. Today, we are telling you the truth about how people actually learn real English and why most learners are doing it completely wrong.
Completely wrong, honestly. And look, we are not saying this to make you feel bad. Not at all. We're saying it because we care about you. Deeply, truly. Because you deserve to speak English naturally, fluently, and confidently. And the methods most learners use, they are actually blocking that from happening.
Blocking it silently. And here's the exciting part. Once you understand what you have been doing wrong, fixing it is not hard. It's not painful. In fact, learning English the right way is actually more enjoyable, more interesting, more natural. Everything changes once you shift your approach.
Everything shifts beautifully. But before we dive in, please, please, please hit that subscribe button right now. We pour so much love into every single lesson we create for you. Every word, every example, every explanation. Subscribing is how you make sure you never miss a lesson. And honestly, it means the world to us. It truly does.
It truly does, sincerely. We are building a family here on Everyday English Channel, a real community of learners who are serious about improving, who are tired of fake progress and want real, lasting fluency. If that's you, and I believe it is, then subscribe. Join us. You belong here.
You belong here completely, and stay until the very end today because we will share the single most powerful habit that separates fluent English speakers from people who study for years and still feel stuck. You do not want to miss that, not even a little.
So let's start with the big question. Why are so many learners doing it wrong? Not because they are not smart, not because they are not working hard. In fact, and this is the painful part, many learners are working incredibly hard, hours every day. Flashcards, grammar exercises, translation apps, vocabulary lists. And yet, after years of study, they still freeze when a native speaker talks to them naturally.
Still freeze completely. So what is happening? The problem is not effort. The problem is method. Most English learners were taught to study English like a subject, like mathematics or history. Memorize rules, pass tests, get grades. But here's the truth. Language is not a subject. Language is a skill. And skills are not learned the same way subjects are learned.
Not the same way at all. You do not learn to ride a bicycle by reading a book about bicycles. You do not learn to swim by memorizing the physics of water movement. You learn those things by doing them, by failing, by adjusting, by repeating. Real language learning works exactly the same way. And the moment you understand this, truly understand it, everything changes.
Everything changes completely. So let us walk through the biggest mistakes learners make, one by one, clearly, honestly, with better alternatives for each one. Ready?
Ready, completely, absolutely. Let's go. Mistake number 1. Learning grammar rules before learning language patterns. Now, grammar is not the enemy. Grammar exists. Grammar is real. But here's the problem. Most learners spend months, sometimes years, studying grammar rules in isolation before they have heard enough real English to make those rules feel natural. They can explain the present perfect tense in writing, but the moment someone asks them a question in conversation, the grammar evaporates.
Evaporates immediately, completely. Why does this happen? Because grammar rules are learned in your logical mind, but fluent speech comes from a different place. It comes from pattern recognition, from exposure, from a deep, unconscious sense of what sounds right. Native speakers don't think about grammar rules when they speak. They never stop mid-sentence to ask themselves, is this the correct use of the past perfect progressive? They just speak, and it's right, because they have heard the correct pattern thousands of times.
Thousands of times, exactly. So what should you do instead? Learn patterns through exposure first. Listen to real English. Watch shows without subtitles. Read things you enjoy. Let your brain absorb the patterns naturally. Then, when you study grammar, it will feel like confirmation of what you already know, not a foreign set of rules you're trying to memorize.
Confirmation, not memorization. Think of it this way. A child doesn't learn grammar before speaking. A child hears language, absorbs patterns, begins imitating, makes mistakes, gets corrected naturally, and slowly produces more and more correct speech. And by age 5 or 6, that child speaks nearly perfect grammar without ever studying a single rule. The process works. Trust the process.
Mistake number 3, translating in your head while you speak. This one is huge. This is one of the biggest fluency killers there is, and almost every learner does it, especially in the early and middle stages of learning. You think of what you want to say in your native language, then you mentally translate it into English, then you try to produce that translation. And by the time you finish that whole process, the conversation has already moved on without you.
Moved on completely already. The problem goes even deeper than speed. Different languages have different structures, different logic, different ways of expressing the same idea. When you translate directly, you often produce sentences that are grammatically okay, but sound unnatural, like technically correct, but somehow off. Native speakers will understand you, but they will sense something strange, something slightly foreign about the way you phrased it.
Slightly foreign feeling. So how do you stop translating? You build an English mind. And you build an English mind by thinking in English as much as possible, not just when studying, all the time. When you wake up in the morning, describe your room in English. When you eat breakfast, name what you are eating in English. When you walk down the street, narrate what you see in English inside your head. It feels strange at first, but it rewires how your brain processes language.
Rewires your brain deeply. The goal is to reach a point where English words come to you directly, not as translations of your native language words, but as their own direct expressions of your thoughts. That's when fluency truly begins. That's when everything opens up. That's when speaking stops being exhausting and starts feeling natural.
Mistake number 3, studying vocabulary in isolation with lists and flashcards. Oh, this one is popular, very popular, and it feels productive. You sit down with your vocabulary list or your app, you memorize 20 new words, you test yourself, you get them right, you feel good, progress. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Memorizing a word in isolation almost never makes it available for real use in conversation.
Almost never available. Why not? Because a word is not just a definition. A word is a living thing inside a language. It has context. It has collocations, words it naturally appears with. It has emotional weight. It has situations where it fits and situations where it does not fit, even though the dictionary says it should. When you memorize a word as an isolated item on a list, you capture only a tiny fraction of what that word actually is.
A tiny fraction only. Think about the word make. You know what it means, right? To create something. But make does more than that in English. You make a decision, you make a mistake, you make a phone call, you make a face, you make sense, you make an effort, you make a point. None of those are predictable from the basic definition. They are patterns, chunks, fixed combinations that native speakers learned through thousands of hours of exposure.
Thousands of hours of exposure. So what is the better approach? Learn vocabulary in context. Read it in sentences. Hear it in dialogue. Notice how it is used around other words. When you learn a new word, do not just write its definition. Write the whole sentence where you found it. Say it out loud. Use it yourself in a sentence that relates to your own life. Own it. Make it yours.
Make it yours personally. There's a method called chunking, learning not just single words, but phrases and combinations together. Make a decision as one chunk. Run out of time as one chunk. I was wondering if as one chunk. These chunks are the building blocks of natural English. They are the difference between correct English and native English.
Messy, fast, full of slang, full of mumbling, full of cultural references you do not recognize, and full of sentences that never quite follow the textbook patterns.
Never follow textbook patterns. The shock that learners feel when they first hear real native English after years of classroom study, that shock is real, and it is common, and it does not mean you failed. It means you were only trained in one version of English, the clean, controlled, academic version. And now you're meeting the wild, natural, living version for the first time.
The living version, completely. So how do you fix this? You deliberately expose yourself to uncomfortable English, English that is too fast, English that has accents you do not recognize, English with humor you do not immediately understand, English in podcasts, in films, in YouTube conversations between native speakers who are not teaching, they're just talking, naturally, casually, without any thought for whether a learner can follow.
Without any thought, exactly. This feels frustrating at first. Understand that the frustration is the learning. Your brain is doing incredible work in those moments, even when you feel lost. It is adjusting, calibrating, building new pathways. The discomfort is the process working. Do not run from it. Run toward it.
Waiting until you feel ready. This might be the most common mistake of all. The learner who says, I will start speaking when my vocabulary is bigger. I will have conversations when my grammar is stronger. I will try with native speakers when I feel more confident. But here's the truth that every fluent speaker knows deeply. Confidence in speaking comes from speaking, not from preparing to speak.
From speaking directly, you will never feel fully ready. That feeling of readiness you're waiting for, it doesn't arrive before you speak. It arrives because you speak. The brain does not grant confidence before action. The brain builds confidence through repeated action, through surviving the discomfort of imperfect communication, through discovering that the world does not end when you make a grammar mistake.
The world does not end. Think about every fluent speaker you admire, every person whose English sounds natural and easy and free. Every single one of them has a story of speaking badly, of being misunderstood, of embarrassing moments and funny mistakes. Those moments did not stop them. Those moments are exactly what built them. The mistakes are not obstacles to fluency. The mistakes are the road to fluency.
The road to fluency, truly. So start speaking now, today, in whatever condition your English is in right now. Find conversation partners, use language exchange apps, talk to yourself out loud in English at home, record yourself and listen back. Your English does not need to be perfect to be useful. It does not need to be perfect to grow. It just needs to be active.
Background noise, exactly. The difference between passive and active listening is enormous. Passive listening means you're watching and kind of following along. Active listening means you stop, you rewind, you repeat phrases out loud, you notice specific vocabulary, you pay attention to how sentences are constructed, you shadow the speaker's words, meaning you speak at the same time they speak, imitating their rhythm and intonation and natural speed.
Rhythm and intonation deeply. Shadowing is one of the most powerful techniques available to an English learner. It trains your mouth and your ear at the same time. It connects what you hear to what you produce. It forces you to feel the natural music of English, the way words connect, the way sentences flow, the places where native speakers speed up and slow down. You can't get this from a textbook. You can only get it by doing it.
Only by doing it. So the next time you watch an English video, any video, try this. Pause, repeat one sentence out loud exactly as the speaker said it. Match their speed, match their tone, match their emphasis. Do this consistently over weeks and months. You will be shocked at how your spoken English transforms.
Real progress in language is measured differently. Can you understand a fast, natural conversation and follow it? Can you express a complex thought without stopping to search for words? Can you make a joke in English and have it land? Can you read a novel in English for pleasure without constantly reaching for a dictionary? Can you feel emotions in English, not just understand the words, but actually feel them?
Actually feel them deeply. These are the real markers of progress, and they develop slowly, invisibly under the surface, long before they show up in your ability to produce language. Linguists call this the silent period, a time when your brain is absorbing, processing, building, but your output does not yet reflect all that internal work. Many learners give up during this period because they feel stuck, but they are not stuck. They are loading. They are loading entirely. Trust the process. Keep feeding your brain real, natural English. Keep engaging actively. Keep speaking even imperfectly. And measure progress not just by what you produce, but by what you understand, by how much less you need to strain, by how much more natural it all begins to feel.
So, we have covered 7 mistakes, but we promised you the single most powerful habit that separates genuinely fluent speakers from people who feel stuck. Here it is.
Here it is, finally. The most powerful habit is this. Treat English as a daily life, not a daily subject.
A daily life, not a subject. What does this mean? It means you stop scheduling English practice as a separate activity, 45 minutes at 6 p.m. with your textbook, and you start integrating English into the full texture of your day. You think in English. You narrate your day in English. You watch content in English for entertainment, not just study. You write your grocery list in English. You set your phone to English. You talk to yourself in English when you are alone in your car or your shower. You dream about the day you might dream in English.
The day you dream in English. This is what it means to immerse yourself. Not necessarily to move to an English-speaking country, though that helps, but to build an English environment wherever you are. To create a life where English is not something you occasionally visit for practice, but something you live inside, breathe inside, think inside, every single day.
Every single day, continuously. Fluency is not a destination you arrive at after enough studying. Fluency is a state you grow into through consistent, deep, joyful engagement with a living language. There is no shortcut. There is no secret method. But the good news? The path is genuinely enjoyable if you choose the right materials, if you choose content that interests you, if you engage with English around subjects and stories and conversations that you actually care about.
That you actually care about. Find the English content that excites you, that makes you forget you're studying. Because in those moments, when you're laughing at an English comedian, or gripped by an English novel, or moved by an English song, in those moments, your brain is learning faster than it ever does over a vocabulary list. Emotional engagement is one of the most powerful memory tools that exists. Use it.
Let us bring everything together. Here's what you need to remember from today.
1. Stop treating English as a set of rules to memorize. Start treating it as a system of patterns to absorb. 2. Stop translating in your head. Start building an English mind by thinking in English as much as possible, every single day.
3. Stop memorizing vocabulary in isolation. Start learning words in context, in sentences, in real situations that stick.
4. Stop staying in safe, controlled practice environments. Start deliberately exposing yourself to fast, natural, messy, real English.
5. Stop waiting until you feel ready to speak. Start speaking now, imperfectly, bravely, and consistently.
6. Stop consuming English passively. Start engaging actively, shadowing, repeating, noticing, imitating.
7. Stop measuring progress only by test scores. Start measuring by how natural English is beginning to feel.
And most importantly, stop treating English as a subject you study. Start treating it as a life you live.
A life you live beautifully. You are not behind, you are not too old, you are not too busy, you are not someone who just cannot learn languages. None of those stories are true. What is true is that you have been given an incomplete method. And today, with this video, that changes. Right now, today.
Right now, today, truly, we believe in you so completely. Not as a polite thing to say, genuinely. We have seen learners at every level, with every background, with every obstacle imaginable, transform their English when they changed their approach. You can do this. You absolutely can.
You absolutely can, sincerely. Now here's what we need from you. First, hit that like button right now if this video opened your eyes, if it made you see you're learning differently. Your like helps other learners just like you find this video. It spreads the truth about real English learning. You're helping someone you'll never meet by clicking that button. That matters. That really does.
That really matters deeply. Second, subscribe to Everyday English channel right now if you haven't already. Seriously, right now. We're not just saying this. We make these lessons because we genuinely, truly believe that every person in the world who wants to speak English confidently deserves to have the right tools to do it. Subscribing means you'll never miss another lesson, and every lesson we make is designed to bring you one step closer to the English speaker you want to become.
The English speaker you want to become. We're honored, genuinely honored, that you spend your time here with us. Every view matters. Every comment matters. Every learner who improves because of something we said, that's why we do this. You're not just a viewer, you're the whole reason this channel exists.
The whole reason, completely. And third, drop a comment below right now. Tell us, which mistake were you making? Which one hit closest to home? Write it below. Be honest. This community is a safe space. We read every single comment. Everyone, without exception.
Every one, sincerely. Your comment might be exactly what another learner needed to read today. Your honesty inspires others. Your progress encourages others. Your presence here makes this community what it is.
Makes it what it is, beautifully. Start today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Pick one thing from this lesson and apply it right now. Think one thought in English. Shadow one sentence from a video. Speak 1 minute out loud to yourself. One step. That's all. One step today becomes fluency tomorrow.
Fluency tomorrow, absolutely. We'll see you in our next lesson. Another deep, honest, practical guide to speaking English the way it was meant to be spoken. Naturally, confidently, freely.
Freely and beautifully. Take care, everyone.
Keep going every day. You're closer than you think.
See you next time.
Happy Learning 2026.
Goodbye, everyone. We'll be right here waiting for you.
We'll miss you until next time.